Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the Donetsk region eliminated a Russian sabotage and reconnaissance group that was attempting to infiltrate Ukrainian military positions. All 5 Russians were killed. Operators of the 8th Special Operations Regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine ambushed a Russian sabotage and reconnaissance group while conducting special operations in a forest area in the Donetsk region. As a result of the ambush, 5 Russian soldiers who were part of the Russian group were eliminated. Taking advantage of the weather conditions, Russians wanted to infiltrate the rear of Ukrainian positions, but the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces prevented them from doing so, the report says. The Special Operations Forces also showed a video of the moment the Russians were destroyed. Earlier, the Special Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine showed a video of how operators' drones destroyed several large Russian warehouses in the temporarily occupied territories of Donbass. Russians were left without drones and gasoline. Before this, the CCO operators also showed how they eliminated a Russian sabotage group in Pokrovsk, Donetsk region, and detected a Russian strike drone, which was also destroyed. There, the operators ensured the evacuation of wounded Ukrainian soldiers from the battlefield and captured a Russian soldier. The Special Operations Forces operators participated in assault, search, and evacuation operations, clearing buildings and positions of Russians in Pokrovsk. Also in November, during a drone attack on Russia, the Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine shot down a Russian helicopter with a deep strike drone for the first time. The Russian Me-8 was shot down near Kutenikovo in the Rostov region of Russia. Ukraine delivered another precise blow against Russian positions on the Zaporizhzhia axis. A Russian-occupied site in southern Stepnohirsk was flattened after a Ukrainian MiG-29 executed a series of targeted airstrikes against forces concealed inside high-rise buildings. The strike demonstrates Kyiv's continued ability to identify fortified enemy locations and neutralize them with accuracy, limiting Russian chances to regroup and reinforcing pressure across this part of the front. Ukrainian unmanned systems continue to play a decisive role on the modern battlefield, and the latest operation by the Asgard Battalion of the 412th Nemesis Brigade shows just how effective these precision teams have become. In a coordinated strike, Ukrainian operators managed to disable 3 Russian air defense systems simultaneously, 2 Tor M1 units and a newer Buk M3 launcher. This combination of older and upgraded Russian platforms is meant to provide layered protection against drones and missiles. Yet all 3 were neutralized in a single operation. Beyond the tactical impact, the strike exposes a deeper strategic problem for Moscow. These systems are neither cheap nor easily replaced, and the estimated combined value runs into enormous sums, placing further strain on Russia's already stressed military-industrial base. Bastards, get out! A resident of Kupiansk drives Russian occupiers out of the entrance of his apartment building. We feel sorry for the old man, though. It seems he's facing a very grim outcome.
The soldiers, they fed me chocolate, they fed me pâtés, they fed me sausage.
Who? Ukrainian soldiers?
Western Ukrainians.
Who did you feed? Dude, you're mistaken. What's with you?
I was being led, you see, right to this very spot. But those Easterners, those absolute bastards, they intercepted me right here. They were throwing sand all over the windows, you know. This is just nasty, what you're pushing. Tell the commanders that they need to leave. Is that understood? And no one else is to come here.
Yes. Buddy, go your own way.
So, are you going to fight then, huh?
No, we're not. We're leaving now.
Are you going to build this parade?
Will do.
My Russia, my homeland, make sure that it truly flourishes. And absolutely no gasoline for Donetsk. Fuck them. Fuck their whole damn city.
Zelensky says Ukraine has no choice. It needs funds, and the reparations loan from frozen Russian assets is the path forward.
Prime Minister of Ukraine, Volodymyr Groysman, there are still many questions regarding Europe's support, a reparations credit, and frozen Russian assets. Yes, the names are different, dear journalists, but the goal is the same, to support Ukraine. and we find ourselves in this corridor today. Yesterday, I certainly didn't accidentally meet with Ursula von der Leyen, Antonio Costa, EU presidents, and Mark Rutte. The issue of frozen assets is partly a matter of our security. These are related things. That's why we met together, as I said before. Yesterday, Yasito show, we had precisely this kind of discussion with you. I stated that there is a certain degree of skepticism among some leaders of nations regarding the reparations loan format. But either Europe will be able to resolve this matter in such a format, or there will be other approaches for a positive solution to this problem. There is simply no other alternative. No, we don't, because we must live, survive, fight, and not lose. And regardless, if the war ends, God willing, we need this money. Absolutely fair for reconstruction as a start, because more is needed for rebuilding. But as a start, this is good, fair money. Russia destroyed us. It must spend money on rebuilding our nation. So if the war ends, it's reconstruction. If it doesn't, it's weapons, our defense. Europe knows this is not Ukraine's issue, but Europe's security issue. And if it's not a reparations credit, I stress again, there will be a different format in the same amount for our deficit.
Axios reports Trump envoys pushed Zelensky for immediate consent to cede Ukrainian territory to Russia during a December 6th call. After meeting Putin in Moscow, their peace proposal worsened, offering tougher terms on territorial concessions and control over the Zaporizhzhia NPP, while sidestepping any real security guarantees. After waiting 24 hours, officially to honor a truce that had been moribund for weeks, Cambodian armed forces yesterday responded to Monday's Thai airstrikes, hitting enemy positions with artillery shells, grenades, and drones. Fighting is now taking place over much of the more than 800-kilometer border between the two countries, with clashes in 6 different Thai and 5 Cambodian provinces. After 2 days of conflict, Phnom Penh reported the killing of 9 civilians and the wounding of 20 others, while the Bangkok Armed Forces, which also used the Air Force yesterday to bomb strategic military targets, reported the loss of 3 soldiers. Some 30 were wounded. The Cambodian government, which yesterday accused Thailand of brutally and indiscriminately targeting residential areas, said that the number of displaced people was close to 55,000, while Bangkok announced that it had set up refugee camps capable of housing more than 125,000 people. The last time Thailand and Cambodia went to war was last July, and after 5 days of fighting and at least 48 deaths, it took the mediation of Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and US President Donald Trump to stop hostilities. The truce between the two countries began to creak last November, when Thai soldiers were injured in the explosion of mines that Bangkok claims were laid in violation of the October ceasefire. Making predictions about developments in the ongoing crisis is not easy. Yesterday, Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul said, "We cannot stop now. We have already given our support to the armed forces so that they can fully complete the planned operations," a line that could also be the result of an electoral calculation in view of next March's vote. Having an external threat always works to create solidarity between the government and the population, explained Sumon, an analyst at the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project. The government's position was also reiterated by Foreign Minister Sihasak Phuangketkeow, who argued that the situation did not lend itself to third-party mediation, and that he did not consider the threat of imposing tariffs as an acceptable negotiating weapon. The issue of relations between Thailand and Cambodia, he explained, should be kept separate from trade negotiations, a clear reference to the tactics adopted by the White House during the July crisis, when it threatened to penalize the exports of both countries. Trump, who in recent months had said he had stopped a war between the two countries and had wanted to attend the truce signing, has not yet commented on the resumption of fighting.
Thanks for watching, And don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.